Greetings, Spartan, and welcome back to the UNSC Infinity War Game Simulation Training Program. Today, we will be covering the UNSC's rocket launcher. The M41 SSR Medium Anti-Vehicle Assault Weapon is a twin-tube, shoulder-fired rocket launcher developed by Misraya Armory. While it was originally intended for light anti-vehicle purposes, as the war with the Covenant escalated, it saw increased use as an anti-personnel weapon. The explosive power of the M41 proved very effective against large groups of Covenant as well as the Flood. But this launcher was designed to take down light vehicles, and because the Covenant light vehicles are so agile, having two shots at the ready proved to be very effective. The most recent models even feature lock-on tracking mechanisms to aid ground units in the disposal of airborne threats. The rockets fired from this weapon are 102mm high-explosive anti-tank shaped charge rockets. Upon detonation, these rockets create a hypersonic stream of metal in a state of superplasticity that is capable of punching through solid armor. Despite their name, heat rockets rely on massive pressure, not temperature, to pierce armor. The M41 fires 102mm heat rockets from a 2-round twin-tube magazine. While the launcher is capable of firing at a rate of 60 rounds per minute, due to the low magazine count and long reload time of 3 seconds, the overall rate of fire is about 24 rounds per minute. The rockets fired from the launcher travel at a rate of 50 meters per second. When it comes to anti-personnel damage, a direct hit is a guaranteed kill, but the rockets explode on impact with a lethal radius of 5 meters, meaning that any Spartan caught in this area will be killed instantly. The non-lethal radius reaches out to 3.5 meters beyond the lethal radius, which is 8.5 meters from the epicenter of the explosion. But at the edge of this range, enemies will only take minimal damage from the explosion. As for vehicle damage, we will refer you to this chart. Here you can see that the Scorpions and Wraiths will naturally absorb the most direct hits due to their heavy armor. And you should also remember that the Mantis has a recharging energy shield that may increase the number of hits required to take it down. Normally, 2 consecutive rockets will destroy it, but if you continuously let its shields recharge after each hit, 3 rockets will be required in the end. And while a Mongoose will survive a direct hit from a single rocket, it will be crippled and explode on its own shortly after. At first, the tactics of using this weapon seem pretty obvious: aim, fire, rinse, and repeat. But there are some subtle nuances that make the M41 more effective against both personnel and vehicles. The most prevalent of these is having the high ground. While it is always a good idea to have the high ground advantage, being able to rain death from above with such a powerful weapon makes it that much more of a priority. Anytime that you are above your target while using an explosive weapon is a very good thing. And if you have a jetpack equipped, you can simply just fly into the air and surprise opponents who weren't expecting such a move. Just make sure that you don't make yourself a prime target by doing this. If you do not have the high ground advantage, then you should aim for your target's feet. If you miss their body while aiming at their feet, they still may take a large amount of splash damage, but if you were to miss while aiming at their upper body, your rocket would just continue to fly harmlessly away, leaving you with one less shot. Shots at the feet are easy enough to make at close ranges, but if your opponent is further away, then you should jump in order to gain just a little bit of height and then shoot at their feet. The slight increase in elevation will make the shot a bit easier. Now, because the rockets travel so slow, the further away your target is, the more you will have to compensate for the travel time by aiming ahead of their position. And if your target is too far away, they will be capable of dodging your shot no matter where you place it. So you need to learn when it is appropriate to use the launcher and when you should use another weapon. The last way to attack enemy Spartans with a launcher is to shoot obstacles or walls near their position. A great example of this is when an opponent is jetpacking high above the ground. If they're near a wall or ceiling, simply shoot that instead of trying to hit your target directly. Against vehicles, many of the same rules will still apply. Having the high ground advantage is always beneficial, and you will need to lead your targets, especially with the faster vehicles. But if you encounter a Banshee, the M41 does come equipped with a lock-on tracking mechanism to assist in bringing them down. To lock onto a Banshee, simply place your targeting reticule over it. You will see a white diamond appear on the Banshee. Now keep your reticle on the Banshee until the white diamond turns red. This indicates that the weapon has achieved a lock-on, and lock-on will persist until you break line of sight with the Banshee. Any rockets fired while you are locked on will track the vehicle until they either make contact or encounter an obstacle. And remember that just because you lock on does not guarantee a hit. Banshees are very maneuverable and they may avoid your shot. While it does have some slow handling characteristics, the M41 is overall an effective and reliable weapon whether it is being used against vehicles or personnel. You have not one, but two powerful rockets with a high degree of splash damage at your disposal. Couple that with ease of use and you have a weapon to be feared across the board. But remember, the launcher is slow to reload and rockets do have a travel time, so don't put yourself into situations where those flaws can be exploited. Instead, retain powerful positions where you can use the M41 to its fullest potential and give your enemies a real spanking. Thank you for watching this episode of my Halo 4 weapon guides. If you enjoyed it, please have a look at my other videos and be sure to stay tuned for more. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt and I will see you next time.